Man, I got a hangnail.
Man, my back hurt.
Man, my sinus is acting up.
Man, my T-cell count's low.
Man, all under Obama's watch.
Thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama. Former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, appeared on Fox Business News with Neil Cavuto to discuss the recent terror attacks in Brussels, Belgium, and pretty much criticize Obama and blame him for the whole thing and everything else.
And by a president who seems to be totally ignoring it, remains in Cuba to watch a baseball game when a NATO ally is attacked by foreigners. I mean, that's a violation of the NATO treaty.
Well, you know, they say that what terrorists do is very different than a nation attacking a nation.
This is a NATO ally. We have a solemn treaty with the country of Belgium that an attack on Belgium is an attack on the United States of America.
So if you didn't get that, if you didn't understand what he was saying, in layman's terms, he was saying because Obama was in Cuba just to watch a baseball game. Is that what he was there doing?
No.
Just to watch a baseball game?
No, he was, eating hot dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Throwing back some brewskis.
I heard he was dancing. Yeah,
on
not
the
that
beach,
time, but yeah.
Playing soccer with some of the youth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he was doing. He wasn't talking to Castro about,
their democratic or trying to further their democratic process.
No, he wasn't talking. No, he wasn't there for that.
So Giuliani even invoked the NATO treaty and said how it's in direct violation of the treaty because an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. So what he's actually invoking, what he's actually referencing is Article 5 of the NATO treaty, which states that when there is an armed attack against one of the members of NATO, then it's viewed as an attack on all of them. So how many times has that Article 5 been invoked?
I mean, there's been a lot of
terrorist
attacks.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm just 50?
50. Because there's been a lot of terrorist attacks over the
60,
years. Right?
I'm just guess.
One time. September 11th. It was confirmed. Well, it was recognized that Article 5 was invoked 3 weeks later in October of 2001.
Was Article 5 invoked after the attacks in Paris?
That's a good question. Nope. And it's probably not going to be invoked after the Belgium attack. We all recognize that it was a horrible attack, but Giuliani is using this treaty to criticize Obama. An attack on all of us. Attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. It's in direct violation of the treaty. No, it's not.
He's trying to make himself sound so smart.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm gonna read the treaty before I go on Neil Cavuto, and then I'm gonna blame Obama for it, and me mentioning the treaty is gonna make my point seem more valid. No.
So it just got worse from that point.
President should be back in the White House right now. He should be in the Situation Room, and he should be telling his national security advisors, give me a plan to wipe out ISIS.
President Obama should be in the Situation Room talking to his security advisors, being like, yo, we need to wipe out ISIS. You need to give me a plan to wipe out ISIS right now.
Because we don't have one.
No, we don't have one right now.
None.
Because we're that inept. But do we have one?
I think we do. I mean, you can go to the government website. You can go to the defense website, and it's called Operation Inherent Resolve. And it is basically a statistical analysis of targets hit and by what means those targets were hit, like by helicopter, tank, drone, jet, whatever it is. It's there for you to see. It's been there for over a year.
Look. How ridiculous, how stupid would it be for the president of the United States
not to have a plan at all?
Not to have a plan against ISIS, even though he's been talking about ISIS for months.
And even though the plan is actually there, and he was the one who made the declaration. And guess who was trying to deny him making that declaration, Republicans.
Yes.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
Still hasn't declared war on him.
I know. That's kind of interesting.
So another point that Giuliani made.
Fort Hood, workplace violence. Idiotic, absurd, moronic. What else can I call it? It was a jihadist attack by a self-proclaimed supporter of Muslim extremism. San Bernardino, France, Brussels. I don't know. What's next? Chicago? Washington? New York? 12 lines in the sand against Assad. Meanwhile, Assad killed 250,000 of his own people under Obama's watch.
So Obama is responsible for all these attacks?
I thought
he's culpable?
I thought this is about ISIS though.
I thought
in the
it
larger in the larger scope of terrorism. I thought
so not only because he like I said, he mentioned Fort Hood, he mentioned San Bernardino, right? But he also mentioned Paris and Belgium. So not only is Obama responsible and culpable for attacks here in America, he's responsible for attacks in other countries as well. And because he's done so little.
And he's responsible for the actions of other leaders, other presidents.
Syria. He said 12 lines in the sand against Assad, and he's killed so many of his people, and it was under Obama's watch.
Under Obama's watch.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
A dictator? Now, nobody's alleging that Assad is good, but if we're being real, what would it take to get rid of Assad? It'd be a ground war, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it take a ground war to get rid of him? So I guess Giuliani is advocating for a ground war instead of these 12 lines in the sand that he says Obama gave Assad and Assad ultimately crossed, I guess. So the last bit of hilarity is from Neil Cavuto's point that he was trying to make, connecting the terror attack in Belgium to voting in Arizona.
You know, you think of these long lines in all the three states voting tonight, Idaho and Utah and Arizona, and you would assume they'd be long anyway. But did what transpired in Belgium today make them longer? That more people are engaged in this porous border issue. Who gets into our country? Who is in our country?
Oh, why? Why connect the terrorist attack to voting in Arizona? Why? People are concerned about people getting into the country.
Porous borders.
Yeah. So since there's a terrorist attack, let me go vote. Let me go vote.
Husband alerted his wife, like, Martha, take the kids to your mother's. We got to go vote. How
about that? How about in Maricopa County, the most populous county, they cut 140 precincts to vote? There were 200 in 2012, but they cut it down to 60. Maybe that was the reason for the long lines you were seeing, Neil. Maybe.
I think that's
just maybe.
I think that's a good reason, but that's
not entertainment television.
I think Neil Cavuto's is more reasonable.
Yeah. It's not entertainment to say, oh, well, it's because polling places were, limited. No, let's link it to terrorism.